Hello and welcome to the third video in the WordPress series. And starting with this video, we're going to be doing our self-install. So the previous two videos were all about WordPress.com and using their hosting and getting a site set up really at a basic level. And while the tools are great, there wasn't a lot of flexibility. We couldn't edit our themes, we couldn't add in more plugins. We had no control over the server either. And so after a lot of research and thinking and kind of going back and forth on what we should be doing with this series, normally I have premium hosting. And with the premium hosting, you do have to pay every month. And so I didn't want to have our people following along with the videos doing that. So I looked around for free hosting, and there is a ton of it out there. And when it all came down to it, this is the one I kind of decided on. It's not that it's better than any of the others. It just seemed to be the easiest, and it's been around a long time as well. And it's 000webhost.com, so 00webhost.com. But I did want to talk about the premium ones real quickly. And so HostGator is the hosting that I use, and I actually have a business account with them, so I pay a little bit more per month. I think about $15-20 a month. That allows me to have multiple websites and URLs on it. But you're looking about $8 a month for most of the premium hosting. And I'm going to suggest that if you're going to build a final website, that you do pay for your hosting. The free ones are great as really sandboxes, or if you're just getting started like we are. But once you hit a point where, I don't want to say you're doing this professionally, or maybe you will be, you want to have your own hosting, and you want to purchase hosting for your clients as well. And so GoDaddy is another one that's out there, and GoDaddy's been around a long time. You've probably seen the commercials and their race cars and things like that. They're all very aggressive in their marketing. They're always going to try to upsell you as well, including the free ones. They're going to try to get you into a premium account. So ignore the emails that you'll probably get. But just so we're on an even footing, everyone hopefully will work along with me with the free hosting. Now, if you have your own hosting already, you're going to have to figure out how to install WordPress on your server. I'm not going to go through that. It's probably very similar to what we'll do with the free one, but you will need to do that on your own to get the site up and running. And so today is really about getting things ready for the rest of my video series. So there's going to be 4 more videos in the series, and it's really going to concentrate on plugins, themes, content, and really building out a site and controlling a site on a self-install. So let me close this up and we'll get started. This isn't that long of a video compared to my others. This is a real critical one though, and I want to emphasize this. You really need to have this finished before we move on to anything else. So take your time, read through everything, but it shouldn't take that long, and it's pretty quick to get things up and running. Make sure you have a pen and pencil, or a pen and paper, because you will need to write down some information, especially usernames and passwords, because we're going to be creating more than just logins. So once you're on the site, once again, it's www.000webhost.com. I'm going to click on sign up for free. It'll take you down. And you can see for a few dollars a month, you can get premium and things like that. But for right now, free web hosting. We get no script auto installer, all these things, but it is good to go. So we need to put in an email address. I'll use my work one here. We do need to put in a password. And for the website name, we do need to put one in here. So this is, we'll call it, I'm going to call it WordPress SNA for Santa Ana, which is the school I'm teaching at right now. So WordPress SNA, and that gives us WordPress SNA.000 webhostapp.com. So this is a subdomain. We're not putting in a full domain here. And I don't suggest putting a free one up with your full domain. That's premium. Buy your domain, purchase it, spend the money. So I'm going to click on Get Free Hosting. So make sure that you pick something. Hopefully it isn't something another person has picked. I'll do the Get Free Hosting now. This takes a second. And once it goes through, you're going to get this window. They're really trying to push your hosting, but I'm going to close this up. It'll say use this platform as a gateway to programming to suffice all equally high quality services. You have certain free limiting, plan to go big. You can go with that. So it's okay. I want to learn. So you can see this is all about the learning side of it. If you click upgrade, they're going to try to sell you more stuff. So I'm going to say it's okay. I want to learn. Now they're going to send you an email that you're going to have to go in and click on. So I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to pause it very quickly. So once you get the email from them, it takes a minute or two. You verify your email. You can come back and hit refresh, or it'll take you straight in. But once you refresh, all I did was a quick refresh after I verified on this page. We now get running. So this is my site. It's up and running. It's ready to go. So let me close up my other things here. And so at the bottom, if you click on this, I'm going to click and open link in new tab. That's a right click. Whoops. This is my live site. Not much going on here, but hooray, yay, your free website has been started. So I like to have that open. So this is my URL up here now, just like in WordPress.com. This is my WordPress SNA.000. So coming back here, I'm going to click on Manage Site. So they made this pretty simple. So we can build a site, set this address, file manager, database, emails, learn to code, and there are some settings. But down here we have build WordPress website. So this makes it very easy. You can use their builder as well, or you can upload your own. But we're going to go with build WordPress website. So we need to pick a username. So it's very important that you change it from admin. You don't want it to be admin. So I'm going to do test-WordPress. You can make it whatever you want. Your password should be something that you will remember. Write this down. Make sure you write it down. You have both of these. So we have test WordPress, passwords, and the URL is my URL here, the one that they've already issued to me, and the language is English. So we'll click install. I'll save it just so I have it in the future. This may take a few minutes. It's actually installing everything onto my server. It takes a few minutes, so we just got to watch it move. So it's doing all the installs here. And this is not going to be a very long video, but it's a very important one. And so we got to make sure this gets done before we get into our other videos. If you don't get this right, not going to have much to do in the next few sets of videos in the series. So it's setting up the users, doing its thing. So if you notice, it's really trying to push you like buy. Ignore all that. Ignore the Go Premium. Down the road, maybe you'll go with them, but there's other options for that too. This is just Sandbox. We can always just wipe this clean at some point as well. So here we go. We're almost there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Generating config files. Not too hard, huh? It does almost all the work for you. And this is what we call a one-click install. It used to be we would have to create all of the server information, the SQL, which is the SQL database. We can manage those up here. But there we go. Your WordPress is now ready for configuration. Congratulations, it's ready. So we'll click on Go to Configuration page. And this is a standard WordPress login page. If you look up here at the top, we have the WordPress SSNA 00 WordPress, but /WP-login. It can also be /WP-admin, and it will take you to this as well. So if I type in the same up here, should take me right back to here. See how it redirected? So this is the username. And then we'll put in our password. I'll just have it remind me, and I'll click login. So here we go. We have a website. If we go and type in our URL, remember the URL we had over here? I have it open, or once you're here, you can right click, open link in new tab over the name. There's our site. We actually have our WordPress site up and running. You'll notice a little bit different than what we had in WordPress.com. And this dashboard looks completely different than WordPress.com. So WordPress.com really simplifies everything. We are looking at a much more complex backend now. It's not hard, but it takes some time, and that's where over the next series of videos, it's going to take a little bit of time to go through each of these. Now, we're at a point, though, we need to make some changes and do some things. So real quickly, I want to go through this again. I'm actually going to log out. So up here in the right corner, we have Hi, Test WordPress. I'm going to go to Log Out. We don't have to log back into 00 web host really again, unless we want to make some changes to the server. WordPress is where we go. So I am going to go to my site. So this is my website. Hopefully you copied this. What I'm going to do to make my life a little easier, I'm going to bookmark it. So now I can just come in here and click on it in the future. Then at the end, I'm going to put /wp-admin. Hit enter. This takes me to the login. This works for any WordPress site. I'll put in my username and my password and hit login. This is how we're going to log in every time to the site from this point on. We're not going to go over here and click on this and go to any of these things. So our site is up and running. So we're going to turn off a few things. So, this is, close this. We don't care about that. Shapely looks like a theme. So I'm going to close this as well. Now, a new modern publishing experience is coming soon. So we're actually in the middle of a transition period for WordPress. We have Gutenberg coming. And so Gutenberg's the new WordPress editor they're building. So what I'm teaching you, there's going to be a new, really what it comes down to, a new interface. Now, I am not going to be teaching that because it is still in beta. If you notice, it says not quite ready yet. It's the next major release of WordPress. So I'm still teaching the old way, but the new editor is actually really nice. It's a major departure from what we've been working on, but it doesn't have a huge learning curve. So I'm going to close this for right now. I'm going to dismiss it. I'm going to leave the welcome to WordPress up here, and we have an at a glance here. So this is just the basics. We can drag and drop these and move them around. So we have the welcome up here. We can customize the site. We can write our first blog. These are things that you should be playing with down the road, but we'll go through them. At a glance, it tells us how many pages, posts, and comments, and what WordPress theme. It looks like we have a theme called Shapely that was installed. It looks like it just gets installed. Hello World was published today. There was a comment. There's one. We can do a quick draft. You can move these around and rearrange this the way you want. And then these are events and news. Looks like there's a WordPress 5 release this week. So we'll see how that all goes, and we'll probably be in transition with this. There's some things in this area here in Southern California that are going on as well. And there's the beta for WordPress 5 is out. We're still on 4.9.8. So this is our dashboard. I will talk about the dashboard and say, oh, there's the dashboard. This is where we need to go. If you ever close something or delete it, Up here at the top, there's screen options. We can turn on and off all of these boxes. Remember, I closed the new editor. I can bring it back if I want to. So screen options, if you ever close anything, this is how you bring it back. There is a help. So you can go through and look up help here too. Up in the top right corner is your account. So test WordPress. We can edit my profile here in a few minutes, but this is where me as a user, this is my account that I've logged in, because you can have multiple people on a WordPress site, hundreds if you wanted to, logging in. So over on the left, we have About WordPress. So you can go to wordpress.org, documentation, the forums, feedback. This is how you jump over and learn more about WordPress. Then we have the site itself. We can visit the site. And if you haven't done this already, right-click and open link in new tab. This will give you your site. So I like to have both open. I can just hit refresh when I make a change and see the change. Then there's updates. There's one plugin and there's a translation update. So we'll run those here in a minute. And there are comments. It will show you which comments you have and what are working. I'm not sorry, not working. What are posted. Other people have posted on your site. And then the last one there is new. So we can do a new post, media, page, or user. So over on the left, we have home. We have updates. The little 2 in a circle there is our telling me we have some updates. Same thing down here under plugins. We have posts. We have media. We have pages. We have comments. Appearance. This is where we can change our theme. We can customize widgets, menus, headers, background. So all these things that we worked on in WordPress.com in earlier videos, they're all listed here as well. We have plugins. We have users. We have tools. Here's an all-in-one WP migration. I think this is to move over sites from other, this is a plugin. We have our settings, which we're going to get into here in a minute, and we can collapse the menu if it's in the way. So first thing we need to deal with is dashboard. We're going to leave alone, but updates. So I'm going to click on updates. So we have the latest version. It's been checked. And we have one plugin here, Kismet Anti-Spam. So this is an anti-spam plugin for comments. Very important. That's why it came installed. So we'll hit Update Plugins. I checked it and then clicked Update. So we got to wait for this to go through. It's now updating all of the software. Not much. And it pulled some translations. So English, Great Britain, for some reason, which is fine. So if I go back and click on plugins again, or sorry, update, not plugins, we are completely up to date. You'll notice I no longer have the red dot up here either. That means we are 100% up to date with all of our plugins, with all of our software and everything. Now, I really want to talk about, this is all happening on the server. This is not on the desktop. All of this is installed. So we logged in through the web browser. We are running this from the server. So what's great about this is you can update this on your phone if you wanted to, or on your laptop, or on your desktop, or anywhere you have an internet connection with a web browser. You can update your website because it is all web-based. All right, so we're not getting into posts, comments, pages. That's for the next few videos, and we're not going to mess with appearance either right now. But I am going to go to plugins. I'm going to click on plugins, and this is where WordPress.com really differs from our self-install. Look at all of our plugins that are already pre-installed. So there's one called All-in-One Migration. It's your blog data. You can import, export. I'm going to deactivate it because we are not using it. We don't have anything to move over, but it would be great to use if we did. And then I'm going to delete it. I don't like to keep plugins in here that I'm not using. And the reason is a plugin is a little snippet of code. And sometimes code can be compromised. So sometimes you may have a plugin that's turned off, but there is code there, and there's always someone trying to hack these sites. So Hello Dolly, it's not just a plugin. It symbolizes the hope in Enthusiasm of an entire generation summed up in 2 words, sung most famously by Louis Armstrong. Hello, Dolly. If we activate it, it's one of the oldest plugins. It comes pre-installed with WordPress. And if you look up here, right there, it will put one line from the song by Louis Armstrong. If you hit refresh, Dolly will never go away again. So I'm going to deactivate it. This is how we activate and deactivate plugins. I'm going to leave it. And then there's an under construction. So you can put your site behind a great looking under construction coming sooner maintenance mode. I'm going to delete that. I'm not messing with that. But we're going to leave these 2 in here. They're from Automatic. And Matt Mullenweg is someone actually kind of important. He is, and I'm going to open the link in a new window just to show you. He is pretty much the founder of WordPress. So you can kind of see here what's in my bag. This is his stuff. So you can read more about him, ma.tt, Matt. This is his website. And he has been an integral part of WordPress from day one. So these are plugins. This is something that wasn't in WordPress.com. We will come back and mess with them more, but I just wanted to clear out those couple because I knew they were in there. Users. I'm going to go to my profile. So users, you can click on it or go straight to your profile, but I'm going to click on it. You'll see I have test WordPress in here. This is my admin role. So I'm an administrator, and you should have yours in here that you created. If I click on it, I can change a little bit of it, not much, but I can disable the visual editor. You don't want to do that. Pretty much leave all of this alone. You know, the default site language is English. We can never change the username, but you can change the first and last name. So if I put my name in here, now I can display my user as me. Even though it's test-WordPress, I can put a nickname over it and then publicly display it as something else. And if I had a bio, a website, I can put in here. I can put a profile picture up, and I can change my password here too. If you're logged in multiple places, you can log out everywhere else. So let's say you accidentally left yourself logged in on a friend's computer. You can log everyone else out anywhere that you've logged in. So this is pretty straightforward in terms of the about yourself. I'll click update profile and look at what changed over here. There you go. So now, even though that's my username, this is what people see. You can edit the profile from here. Now I'll go back over users some more. We'll create a few others, but I just wanted you to change your profile very quickly. And then under tools are available tools, things like that. We'll be going through them in a little bit more detail, but I want you to go to settings. And this is the last thing we're going to do. We're going to get our settings pretty much cleaned up. So I'm going to go to general. And once it opens up, we get general settings. So here's the site title. And we never set one. So if you notice, it just says WordPress SSNA. So let's do this. Real simple. WordPress test site for class. You may want to come up with something else. Totally up to you. Tagline. Just another WordPress site. Let's change it to my test site. URL. Please don't change these. Don't touch these. You touch these, good luck. You can really mess the whole thing up. This is your email address for admin. You probably want to keep it. Then don't check anyone can register. That means anyone can come in and create an account. We don't want to do that. Now, there are times when you want to have people sign up for your site and have different levels of a role. And so there's a subscriber. That's the basic one. So if you're going to do membership, make sure subscriber is set. That means no one can register higher than a subscriber. A contributor can create content but cannot post it. It has to be cleared by an editor or an administrator. or sorry, an author, an editor, administrator. An author can create content but can't change the settings. An editor can do almost everything except for some very high level stuff as an administrator does. So, site language. We've got English UK. We want to change to English United States. And then time zone. Well, it says we're in London, which is all nice and good because I just came back from London on Friday, but I'm in Los Angeles, so we need to pick LA or whatever city is nearest to you. Date format, however you want to set up the date. If you're in Europe, you're going to go with the day before month or month before day here in the United States. Time format, you can do capital PM or military time, 24-hour time. It'll give you a little preview here too. And then what day does your week start on? I know that sounds funny, but sometimes weeks, depending on how your business is set up or how you work, sometimes a week starts on a different day of the week. So it does give you that option. So I went through, put a title, put a tagline, do not touch the URLs, probably don't touch the email, don't turn on the membership, new user role, leave as subscriber, English, United States, Los Angeles, 13th of November. I'm going to leave it as that date because I like the full date. Time format, I went with the capital PM, and week starts on Monday. I did not change that. I'll hit save. And we have our settings, basic general settings. So let's go into writing. So default post category. We only have one category. It's called uncategorized. We will change this later on. So for the moment, we will leave it alone. But we'll have a standard post category. It's the default. So whenever we create a new post with content, it's going to default to this category. Format is standard. So there are different formats for a post. Standard is what we see most of the time, but there are chat, gallery, links, images, quotes, audio, video, all kinds of stuff. So post via email, please do not turn this on. This is not something we're going to mess with. We don't want to post. Basically what this does is it allows us to send an email to a hidden email address, and it will automatically post whatever's in the email on the website. That is not something you probably want to turn on. So leave it all alone. Update services. So when we publish a new post, WordPress automatically notifies the following site update services. So there's a lot of other services out there. Right now, this is the basic one, and it does a good job, Ping-O-Matic. And if I actually go to that website, this is something you could do manually for any website. You can put in the blog. It's to update different search engines that your blog has been updated. And you'll see down here, there's a whole bunch. But what I want you to do, we want to have more than this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google. And I'm going to do update services, WordPress list 2018. So update services, WordPress list 2018. So there's a couple here right off the bat. So the first one I'll just click on. Let's see what we get. So it even shows here. Here's the update services. Look at the list they give us. Ooh, lots in there, huh? What we could do is, I'm not going to grab the first two, but I'm going to grab everything from this point. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go back, put a return after, and paste. That will cover us for most of the update services. If you don't do this and just leave the Ping-O-Matic, there's nothing wrong with that. It actually does a great job. But I'm trying to cover as much space as I possibly can. So I'll hit Save Changes. The only change I made on this was the update services. Everything else I left alone. Reading. So under Settings, Reading. Your homepage displays your latest posts. We're going to leave that for right now. Eventually, we will change out a static page and show you how to do that. Blog pages show at most 10 posts. So whenever we have a page that shows posts, they'll show 10 of them and then next page. Syndication feeds show the 10 most recent items. We're going to leave that alone too. That's RSS, Real Simple Syndication. So if someone else is using our syndication feed to push data or push content, then only 10 items go out on it. For each article in a feed, show full text or summary. So we'll leave this alone as well. That means for the feed going out, the syndication feed, they get the entire full text. And then search engine visibility. I want you to turn this on. This is not something we normally do, but this is a test website. We don't want it getting picked up by the search engines. We're going to discourage search engines from indexing. It is up to the search engine to honor it, though. Every search engine, they honor it. There's always a handful that may not. And we'll save changes. So really the only change here was discourage search engines. We will come back and make some changes to all of these. Discussion. So this is comments. So the very first one is attempt to notify any blogs linked to from the article. So if I take a link from another WordPress site, my site will try to contact them and say, hey, I am linking to your site. So we'll see trackbacks as well, pingbacks and trackbacks. So we're going to leave that on, and we're going to check the second one and allow link notification from other blogs on new articles. And I'm going to turn this off. I do not want my comments on. So I'm turning off allow people to post comments on new articles. Other comment settings. Even though this isn't turned on, I'm still going to turn a few of these on. Comment author must fill out name and email. I'm going to turn on user must be registered and logged in to comment. I am going to turn on automatically close comments after 14 days. So what that means is if an article is 14 days or older, it will not allow you to post any comments. I know it's a little redundant because I've said don't do it, but I'm still turning these on because I want to have as many hurdles, is the best way to put it, for someone to actually post on the site. It's almost like I'm locking this thing down. Show comment cookies opt-in checkbox. Yes, we're going to turn that on. That will little pop in. It'll say, do you opt into cookies if you're using the comments? And then enable threaded comments. So if you have a comment, it'll do 5 levels deep in terms of threading or indenting when people reply. Break comments into pages with 50 top level comments. I'm going to leave this unchecked. What this means is if we had 50 comments, you can break it into multiple pages. Now, if I had 50 comments on something, that means I'm probably doing something right or I have a lot of spam. And that gets into a whole other area of discussions and comments. So I'm going to leave that alone. Email me whenever someone posts a comment or a comment is held for moderation. We're going to leave those on, even though we're saying don't allow anyone to do it. It's still good to have this on because if someone comes in and does get through, we'll know if they post. Before a comment appears, comment must be manually approved. I'm going to turn that on. That means nothing will even get up until you go in and approve it. And the comment author must have a previously approved comment. So we've put every lock on this door that I possibly can. The big one, though, is right here. Allow people to post comments. That is turned off. That pretty much nullifies all of this, but I still set up my settings just like I would if I do allow people. Moderation. You could put in URLs, content, names, email addresses, IP addresses. So if you're getting hit by one person constantly, their email and you know their IP, you could put it in here and it'll automatically go to moderation. It will never post until you clear it. Then, so you can type in like, I don't like me. So anytime I would post something, it goes to moderation. And you can put in words and other things like that. So blacklists, I don't care if this person ever posts anything, it goes right to the garbage. So the blacklist is, or you can put in bad words, you know, any type of those type cuss words, things like that. Avatars. So you can show the avatar, or you can turn it off. That's that little guy right here. So you can turn it off and no avatars will appear. And actually, I'm going to turn mine off but first I want to talk about them. So maximum rating, you have G through X, just like our movies, rated G, PG, R, and X. And the reason these come from is Gravatar. So Gravatar is actually owned by WordPress, and it was a universal system for avatars on multiple websites. So instead of having to upload a photo, it pulls your photo from the Gravatar site. So you could do mystery person, which is what I have, or you can pick one of these other ones. Or if you turn off show avatar, save changes, I won't get any avatars. See how it disappeared over here? So no more avatars. That's up to you. You could turn it on or off from here. And I'm going to save the changes. All right. So we made some changes here. Big thing though is if you turn this off, pretty much all the other stuff doesn't really matter, but I still set them up just so I can talk about them. And then media. So these are the sizes of the images. So when we upload an image to WordPress, it automatically creates a thumbnail, a medium, and large, and keeps the original. I'm going to leave these alone unless your theme tells you to change these. These are pretty much the standards. So 150 by 150 pixels for thumbnails, 300 by 300 for medium, and large is, these are the max width and heights. So it's not that it's a square 300, 300. It won't be any wider than 300. It won't be any taller than 300. And then large, no bigger than 1024 by 1024. And organizing the files, it will organize everything into month and year based folders. So let it do its thing. I didn't make any changes, so I won't hit save. We'll go to Permalinks. And we are going to change to post name. This is what we're using here. Not custom. We don't want numbers. We don't want dates. We want nice, simple, your URL / the title of the page or post. We're not going to change any of the optional settings here, but we do need to hit save for the post name. And last thing is privacy. So, as a web page owner, you may need to follow national or international privacy laws. If not, create one. The new page will include help and suggestion for your privacy policy. It's your responsibility to use resources correctly. Really what this comes down to is we have an existing privacy policy page. It was already created. So I'm going to click on use this page, and we'll be going through that and setting it up. But this is like the European Union privacy policies. We have to have this now to meet international law, not so much in the United States, but around the world. So that is something new that's been added in, but it is something important. So we've gone through the basic settings. Not much in there, mostly little tweaky things, but it's important we do those first before we start working on the site. So I'm going to click on dashboard. And this kind of comes to an end for this video. As I said, a little shorter than some of my other ones, but this is all very important because if these things are not set up and built and running, the rest of my videos and the rest of the stuff that we're covering is pretty much useless. So take your time, make sure you got everything set up running. Remember, we are using the 000 web host, the free one. That got us the install. This is what we're going to be working on the rest of the semester.